Hello everyone! Welcome back to some more Full Invasion. This is going to be the Imperial Legion, which is kind of a personal favorite of mine because it almost rarely ever got played when I played this a lot. And it's going to be first invasion of the Barbarian Tribes, which is a cool faction to fight against. I think this is the faction that gets the bear boss wave, just a bunch of bears, which is kind of insane. But I'm playing this game today because I wanted to talk about Total War Warhammer a little bit. Because the trailer for Total War Warhammer 2 dropped, would be yesterday by the time that you see this. And if you have not seen that, then I suggest you watch it, because it's pretty cool. Even if you're not a Warhammer fan, if you're just a fan of fantasy in general, there's some cool shit in there, I guess. Because we get dinosaurs with the Lizardmen, so the Lizardmen are going to be in there. The Dark Elves, the High Elves. So if you want to talk about like the original Edgelords, that would be like the Dark Elves. And then their 40k counterparts, the Dark Eldar. Both of those like the OG Edgelords. They look pretty cool though. And then besides those two races, at the very end of the trailer, they show a rat, like an actual just like kind of normal rat, but looks decayed a little bit, which implicates that the Skaven are also going to be the fourth race, which they have not announced yet officially, but it's pretty much going to be the Skaven. And in terms of new landmass, we get the Lustria, we get the homeland of the Elves, which is Uthwain, then homeland of the Dark Elves, which is not Nazgarath, something like that. I can't remember the name of that. And then also the Southlands, which the Southlands would be south of the Badlands, where the Greenskins and the Dwarves are in the first game. And by announcing that the Southlands are going to be in this, they've basically confirmed that the Tomb Kings are going to be in the game, probably at a later date. My guess would be early next year as one of the first DLC races of Warhammer 2, because the Tomb Kings are in the Southlands. Besides them, I think there's also Araby is in that region, which is like a Middle Eastern human nation. And then I think maybe there's some Skaven down there too, maybe. But I think the prominent race is going to be Tomb Kings down there, so pretty much confirmed they're on the way at some point. Like, we knew they were on the way anyway, didn't know at what point, but now that we know that the Southlands are part of this new game, they're coming. They're coming. But yeah, the trailer I think is pretty good. It's just a nice cinematic trailer. It doesn't actually show any gameplay. It doesn't really talk about necessarily what units are going to be in the game. Although you can guess as to what units depending on what's in the trailer itself. Because they've never really shown off a trailer that had units that didn't eventually end up in the game. At least not yet. But yeah, man, the Lizardmen I'm so excited for. Like, Lizardmen and the Skaven were the races I was looking forward to the most. And it seems like we're getting them both with this new release. And that's so exciting. Because Lizardmen are just awesome looking walking lizards. And then they have tamed various types of dinosaurs to fight for them. And it's just really cool. They also have access to, I think, some of the most powerful casters in the game with the these like giant toads that levitate on these little platforms called Slan. And they're just like a really cool race. They are definitely is it Mayan or Aztec inspired? I think it's Aztec inspired because they got like obsidian clubs. They have that kind of motif. They have those types of temples and stuff. So just really excited to see that the Lizardmen are coming into the game. The High Elves, Dark Elves are cool. But like we have Wood Elves, so I already kind of had like a little flavor of the Elves. Although the other two do play differently than Wood Elves, just judging by how they play on the tabletop version. But Wood Elves are going to, the High Elves are going to come with Phoenixes, which is pretty cool. I'm assuming there'll be Dragonhawks, because Dragonhawks are a pretty prominent thing in the tabletop. Usually the Elf Lords will ride those, and they are pretty awesome. And then with the Dark Elves, they showed in the trailer the repeating crossbows. I'm really curious how they handle repeating crossbows, because potentially that sounds insanely good, right? A repeating crossbow, and they are like. But I'm just curious how they handle that in the video game for balance issues. Why did we change? What? No, not World War I's shit. All right. World War I stuff is not exciting. This game was not made for guns. But anyway, besides that, they also announced that the new campaign map, which is going to be those areas I talked about before, which is going to be about roughly the same size as the map in the first Warhammer, is what they're saying. After the initial release of Warhammer 2, they're going to have another grand campaign map released for free in the next month or two after release. And that is going to combine the campaign map for Warhammer 1 and 2. So then you can actually have this epic grand campaign with, you know, involving all of the races in Warhammer. Which is pretty sweet. But as far as the Warhammer 2 stuff goes, they're saying that that's going to revolve around this vortex that the High Elves have created, and apparently all 4 races want this vortex for some reason or another. I don't honestly know why. I don't know the lore of that area. But they said that you can either go for that objective, or if you want, you can just go around and kill people. So it's not, I guess, something you necessarily need to do, which is kind of odd. That's an objective that you don't need to do, but that's how they listed it. And they said that since all 4 races want this vortex, it is an objective that an enemy race can actually get before you, which would be kind of a first, I guess, in terms of victory conditions go. But that sounds exciting. They're saying that they have been like emboldened by how successful the first game was, so they are going kind of just more crazy in terms of creativeness and how each race is going to play. They're saying that each race is going to play totally differently, that it's not really going to be about the race you want to play, but how you want to play the game is more going to be affecting which race you choose in Warhammer 2, which sounds really exciting. If they're that different, you know, think of like, you know, you want to play the game as a Horde race or as like the Empire, who's a more traditional race. That's just an example. But I'm guessing by the way they're talking, it's kind of that varying amount of differences, but for each 4 races, which sounds really exciting for single-player campaign stuff. In terms of multiplayer, as long as you own both games, you can play all races in multiplayer. That's no problem. What else did they announce? Its release date is 2017, so my guess is going to be somewhere between, I'm going to say like October, November is my guess. They also did say that we will see you at E3, so we're definitely going to get more news and maybe a more official release date besides just saying 2017 during E3, which I think takes place in June? End of May or June, somewhere around there. Yeah, definitely this year is going to be coming out. Each race gets 2 new legendary lords with unique starting positions. I'm trying to run through their not press conference, but the little talk that they gave in my head here. What else was there? Just a bunch of exciting stuff. It's just the beginning. I am sure in the coming months we're going to be just seeing so many trailers for race specific, campaign play styles for each one. How did I miss you? Yeah, the Skaven, man. Ah, the little rats are coming. That's so cool. I'm pretty excited. Adding 4 new races to the multiplayer alone, like at once. Oh my god. That's going to freshen up multiplayer so much. And I'm curious if one of those races will take the Empire in terms of, like, the top dog. Because in my mind, for Warhammer multiplayer, it's definitely still the Empire's top dog. Like, really, all races are pretty well balanced to fight each other, as much as you expected, considering you have races that are just totally different and with totally different playstyles. It's not like Rome or Shogun, where the races kind of have similarities. Especially Shogun, where the races are basically all the same. So yeah, in terms of balance, I think it's pretty good, but there's still a list, and I would say that that is the Empire, Then it's vampire counts. Then you have to vampire counts. So those are like the top two, clearly. Maybe Bretonia, and then the greenskins are tied. And then after those four, it kind of just... Then it kind of goes to the bottom tier. I would say probably dwarves are in the very last place. Simply because they're really easy to counter. They have a lot of cool units, but just kind of easy to counter. Let's see. So Empire, vampire counts. Bretonia, greenskin. Wood elf. Beastmen, Chaos, Dwarf. I think that's what I would list as. But in any case, Empire is definitely top dog just because of their versatility. They can build a counter to any army in the game just because of just the wide amount of units they have. They are still the best. And Vampire counts, I think, are just so strong. They are so very strong. Still beat them. Again, I think the balance is still fine. Like, dwarves can still beat Empire. It's just, I think they do have an uphill battle in that case. There's a lot of things you'd have to do as a dwarf to win, and a lot of ways you can get countered, which is why I kind of put them in the bottom slot. Even though they have access to a bunch, like they have access to one of the best units in the game, which I think is the Grumbling Guard. But that still doesn't mean that they are the best in the game in terms of race. Oh, I'm so excited. I wish Warhammer 2 was already here. I want to play all those races so bad. Learning 4 new races is so exciting. I'll definitely do a faction overview for each one of them, as I've been doing in like the recent DLC races. I'm looking so forward to that. Well, maybe not that process, because each one of those faction overviews basically takes an entire day, if not more. And that's of the recording and editing. For the actual playtesting, all said and done, it takes a few days, because I playtest for a while to get a handle of the units, and then I spend a day recording and editing. So it takes a lot of work to make those, but I really do enjoy those videos. Don't block my attack. I'm definitely gonna be watching that cinematic trailer a few times over the next couple months. I just like CA has done a pretty good job with trailers in general ever since Warhammer. Well, you know what? Actually, I mean, really before Warhammer, because like I remember, was it Empire Total War? No, it was Napoleon Total War. I remember that cinematic trailer was pretty cool. Remember that was pretty cool. Yeah, for like Warhammer, I think all their trailers have been really sweet. Especially the race-specific ones, like the Wood Elf announcement trailer was really awesome. The Tonian announcement trailer was pretty cool, and that's the most recent one. So they've done really good trailer work. And like how they introduced the Lizardmen in that cinematic trailer is so fucking good. It's like, oh shit, here goes this Dark Elf, I don't know what that unit's called, witch something? I don't know. And then boom, out of nowhere, Lizardmen units. Oh, it's so cool. Let's go Hitler. Also, Malekith? I think it's Malekith, the leader, one of the leaders of the Dark Elves. Like I said, they are the original Edgelords. You just need to see the trailer just for him. He's like, I am Edge. Call me Malekith the Edge. But he does look pretty cool. I need bullets. I need bullets. Ah, here we go. Hi. Oh, there's beds up here. I'm just gonna rest up here. So besides Warhammer 2, I did recently rewatch Rogue One because that's now available out for digital platforms. I don't think the physical, like Blu-ray, is out yet. So, spoilers for Rogue One coming. Not much though. I'm not going to talk too much about the entire movie. Basically, just like one scene, like the scene. Again, spoilers. Just warning. The Darth Vader scene. What? Like, Rogue One, I think, is a good movie. And the last act, like the last hour of that movie, is just an awesome chain of events. From when they land on Scarif, it's so cool. The space battle was really cool. The ground battle was awesome. It was a total shock to me because I had stayed away from all spoilers. Before I watched that, somehow managed not to get spoiled at all. I had no idea that everyone, spoilers again, that everyone was going to die. I knew someone was going to die, probably at least half. But I thought at least the, what's his name? The actor's name, is the actor's name Diego? What's his character's name? Like the lead guy. How do I not remember? I'm so bad with names. Like, I thought he would probably live at least. Man, oh man, was I wrong. Anyway, the Darth Vader scene though. Holy shit. They did so well with Darth Vader, except for one line where they said, be careful not to choke on your aspirations. Listen, it's a clever line because he's choking. There's a lot to that line. Like, it's a good line as long as it's not Darth Vader saying that line as he's choking someone. When in the hell did Darth Vader ever say anything like that in the original trilogy? Or even, did even Anakin Skywalker say anything like that in the prequels? I don't think he did, right? Like, he never said anything like that. It was so cheesy and just was like, wait, you had Darth Vader say what now? You had James Earl Jones say this line as Darth Vader? That was the one thing they kind of did wrong. But, you know, we can forgive him for that. Good line, just as long as he's not saying it, because that just doesn't make any sense for him saying that line. That's not Darth Vader. But besides that, I think they used Darth Vader really well because they didn't use him a lot. The movie did not focus around Darth Vader at all. They introduced him early on in that scene with him and director Krennic. And I thought that was kind of cool, except, of course, besides that one line. It was nice to see him there on his little fortress on Mustafar. And then he came in at the very end. I was not expecting it. I really wanted it because I was like, oh man, I really want to see Darth Vader, you know, fight. Because the one thing we've never seen, like we've seen Anakin, you know, throw around his lightsaber, but that's not impressive at all because Anakin Skywalker prequels suck for the most part. But this is him as actual Darth Vader, and we never see Darth Vader in a movie fight just the normal people. He's always just fighting Jedi, specifically Obi-Wan and Luke Skywalker. Never saw him actually go at it with normal people, and that scene was so fucking amazing. Every part of the scene, they're running, they got the Death Star plans, then the door is jammed, and then you hear like a noise of what I'm assuming is Darth Vader force opening the door at the end of the hallway because you didn't see his lightsaber, you know, blasted open or anything. And then you just hear his breathing, and you have all those soldiers with their guns out looking at the end of this dark hallway like, what the fuck is this? And you just hear his breathing, and then his lightsaber lights up, and they're, oh my god. And the next 2 minutes, or like minute and a half, is just orgasmic. And it is so cool to see him fuck up normal people. Just fuck them up. Like, they had literally no chance. These dudes are so scared. Like, really good acting for these just, what I guess are just extras, because you can see the fear in their eyes as they are seeing this fucking nightmare walk down the hallway with a lightsaber, which they've never seen before. Because, you know, remember, at this point in the timeline, like, Jedis are almost just like a story, you know, like no one really believes that shit anymore, right? And then here comes Darth Vader, and he's using his force powers, throwing people up into the ceiling, and then not chopping them in half, but using their lightsaber, like just slash. Oh my god, he fucked them up so much, and that was such a beautiful scene. A beautiful scene. I'm so glad they put that in there, and I'm so glad that they didn't overuse Darth Vader. Because there were talks, I guess one of the drafts of the storyline was Darth Vader was going to come down to Scarif itself, and he was going to kill basically all of the main cast by himself. And while I think that would be kind of cool to see, I think it would have taken away from the main cast a little bit, and maybe would have used Darth Vader a little too much. So they threw in just enough. They're like, oh, you know what? By the way, this is what Darth Vader does to everybody in this fucking universe. He typed in the cheat code, power overwhelming, turned on God mode, and he just fucks everybody up. They have literally no chance against him, and it was such... God, it was such... If you never watched Rogue One, which you should watch Rogue One, and I hope you have seen Rogue One if you're listening to this, because I warned you about spoilers. But if you never want to watch Rogue One, at least look that scene up on YouTube, because... Man. Although I guess maybe that scene doesn't mean too much to you if you don't even really like Star Wars anyway, because it's Darth Vader in Star Wars, but... Oh, God. But yeah, I'm really glad that we didn't get more than that Darth Vader, because the secret about Darth Vader, I think, in this movie is that they didn't use him a lot. And that's, I think, the perfect amount. Because this is not a Darth Vader movie. This was not a saga movie. This was not about the Skywalkers at all, so... And I think that's an easy thing to fuck up on. If you're going to put Darth Vader in a movie, I think it's so easy to be like, yeah, but what if we just had like a half hour of Darth Vader fucking shit up? But like, that would be too much. And I love the restraint they showed in this. It was just because you're left with like, oh my god, I want to see more. And that's the feeling you probably should have. When it comes to Vader, oh, it's such a cool scene. I've been gushing about this for like 5 minutes straight. The scene itself is a minute and a half, and I've been talking about it for like 5-10 minutes. But there's so much more to that movie than just that scene. It's just like that's the last scene, because after that it basically goes right into episode 4. It's such a perfect transition because that's Leia's ship and she is running from perfect. Like, that was such a cool transition, and the fact that they addressed what everybody has been joking about for 30 years, like why in the hell would the Empire build this like just shitty design flaw where all you have to do is shoot a torpedo into this back door and blow the entire station. Like, why would they design that? And they answered that question in Rogue One, and I thought that was great. It's because one of their head designers was working for the Rebels. Well, not directly, but like he wanted to help the Rebels. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So here we go. The answer to that question of why the hell they would build this stupid back door into their Death Star is because they didn't know about it. No one knew about it except for this one engineer who was working to try and help the rebellion. And I thought that was really cool. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things about the movie. I really enjoyed all the characters. I think the android K290, played by Alan Tudyk, I thought was amazing. So good. C-3PO, just stand aside, please, because this is like the droid that I want. Although we're not going to get him anymore because he died too. But he was amazing. The Jedi Temple Guardians, those two, that duo was awesome. Fucking love those two. It was so sad when they died. God, they were so cool. Oh, they're so cool. The pilot was also like, they were all pretty cool, and it was just kind of surprising because there's a lot of characters in that movie, and for you to kind of feel the depths of all of them to varying degrees, but to care at all in such a short amount of time that's a pretty good job of writing and acting, man. Yeah, like when the droid died, he was the first to fall. I was so sad. God, I was so sad when Kate died because he was so awesome. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess that makes sense that the droid died. Like, this was my thought process. Like, okay, yeah, okay, they're going to kill the droid. They'll probably kill a couple more others. The pilot's death was, I thought he was going to make it, but just a random stormtrooper's like, oh, let's throw a grenade into this ship. And I'm like, really? And then he's dead. And then the Guardians die, and I'm like, fuck, the Guardians died? And I was like, okay, well, the main, those duo are going to make it, the girl and the man. Surely they'll make it. Nope. Nope. In fact, no one makes it off that base because Death Star. I had no idea the entire crew died. It's like, well, I guess there's not going to be a sequel with these guys. And I'm okay with that. It was a nice one-off story. A very interesting one. I said I wasn't going to talk about the entire movie, and there I go talking about most of the movie anyway. It is a little slow in the beginning, but I think it kind of has to be to get introduced to all those characters that are in there. But man, the last hour of that movie is just non-stop, and it's awesome. And then they finish it all off with Darth Vader. God. His introduction is so cool, though. Oh, because he's in the darkness breathing, and then his lightsaber lights up. You're like, oh, you dead! All of you rebels are dead! Ah, such a cool moment. And then we get The Last Jedi at the end of this year. And I remember reading some rumors when they were filming last year, and like, I read this entire scene, which I shouldn't have, but I was curious to know. What I'm going to say is, like, we're going to probably see some Luke Skywalker stuff. And, well, I mean, we're seeing Luke Skywalker, but what I mean is seeing him in action and seeing what a old Luke Skywalker, you know, the Master Jedi of this time, get to see what he's made of. That's probably going to be pretty cool. Holy shit, we're on wave 26. I didn't realize that much time had passed. Oh god, I'm almost dead. Oh shit, I am dead. Oh well. I've gushed on long enough about Rogue One and Warhammer. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Again, I kind of use Full Invasion as just like my little podcast, basically, with action in the background. So if you don't enjoy me talking about stuff, then sorry. But I hope you do enjoy it. Yeah, so anyway, enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and I will see you all next time. Take care.